Hi, diddly hi. I wasn't actually asleep. I was just pretending. It's called mime. Basically, I want to update you with some quite exciting news, which is that I went on my first ever Extinction Rebellion protest last weekend. You know, like rebels. You know, it was really enlivening because basically you're not normally allowed to rebel against things if you're posh. Like normally you're only allowed to rebel against things if you're poor or French. But because of all this enviro stuff, like I'm now basically allowed to rebel, so I can be like, you know, down with the man. They're all like, you know, rich man, and I'm like, you know, the ones that are running our country and ruining it, and they're like, you know, isn't one of those guys your uncle? And I'm like, you know, yes, yeah, technically he's the MP for Henley-on-Thames, but you know, but still. But anyway, basically, you're not normally allowed to rebel against stuff. Well, actually, that's not true, because there was one time at school where they took Dutchy organic asparagus off the menu, and I kicked up a pretty bloody big fuss that day. I wrote matron a very strongly worded letter, I can assure you. But basically, this environment stuff's given me this new lease of like rebellious life. It's rekindled this asparagus gate of my teen years. And basically, honestly speaking, didn't used to be that into the environment. Like I used to get pretty annoyed by that little sort of Norwegian child thing. What's her name? Greta Iceberg. Because I always sort of saw through her. I thought like, well, like obviously you're going to be into icebergs because like if your name's Greta Iceberg, obvious. It's like my name's Henry Huntley Fox. Like obviously I'm into hunting foxes. Like what am I going to do? Take them for a drink? Don't think so. So basically I always saw through it. But my old friend Ubiquita, just got back from like her 10th gap year to the rainforest, and where she was basically like inducted into the earth by this like crazy shaman guy, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, look, Ubiquita, babe, I totally feel you, because basically the last few times me and my family have gone skiing in Val D'Isere, the glacier has been like so slushy, and we haven't been able to like edge on it at all. I'm like, look, if it's affecting like our family ski holidays, like it's quite a big deal. You know, so probably should take this seriously. So basically, me and my friend Freddie found out about this Extinction Rebellion protest taking place at London City Airport. Made sure I looked the part, borrowed my sister's old tie-dye t-shirt from when she was like 14, and went out in the back garden and just like rolled around in the mud in it to make it look like me and the earth like consummated or whatever. And then I put I wore my old prep school rugby socks and hiking boots, and then I borrowed my cousin Hubert's rugby shorts. He's only 13, so they're like super tight, super short on me. My thinking was basically like, whenever you see these old hippie dudes at like Enviro-Fests, they're always wearing these tiny shorts, always like showing off their legs. They're like slutty members of the ground force team. So I was like, I can fit in by doing that. It was quite funny because basically my friend Freddie was driving us across to the protest in his Land Rover. Side note, bloody good car, absolute guzzles fuel. It is amazing. And the shorts I was wearing were so tight. They were basically cutting off like all circulation to my Bolingbrookes. And I was like freaking out, had like a panic attack, basically ended up passing out. Freddie just like grabs the nearest thing he can think of, grabs his macchiato, like throws it on me. And I like come to, I'm like, whoa! Basically, I then got this with my old penknife and made like 2 tactical incisions in the shorts, not in my testicles, just to relieve some of the pressure. Anyway, eventually we arrive at the protest, and we're led out onto the tarmac so we can try and like ground the planes. We're led out by these 2 absolute nutters called Kyle and Brandon, and they were both like raised in some kind of like swamp or like the north or something crazy. And I like run out behind them like, yeah, rebel. And this Ryanair plane from Dublin like almost hits me. I probably would have had to pay for the privilege of being hit by it, by the way. So basically, I get out onto the runway, and they'd asked us to bring glue so we could basically like tape or stick our hands down onto the tarmac and like ground all the planes. The problem was like, I didn't know which type of glue they wanted us to bring, so I brought Pritt Stick with me. And it turns out Pritt Stick's not that great for sticking human flesh to cement, so it didn't really work that well. And Brandon started getting really annoyed with me. And so I tried to make a joke to sort of ease some of the tension. I was like, "Oh, Brandon, looks like I found myself in a sticky situation." Not. Brandon basically didn't really like it very much. And the whole group basically then started calling me names. So one was like, you're a polar bear killer. You're a fuel drinker. This old guy just called me a Wally. At that point, I just literally flipping lost it. Picked up my Pritt Stick, I threw it at him, and it basically got stuck in his beard. It was matted and stuff, and he was raging. He couldn't move because his hands were stuck to the tarmac. He was like thrashing around, like, ugh! But the Pritt Stick was just dangling from his beard. He was going mental. So at that point, I basically decided it's better for me to slope off to the cafe overlooking the airport. Got myself a cappuccino, just to calm down from the whole thing. And but I was super supportive from a distance. I was like, yeah, ground the planes, lads, you can do it. Shut the airport down. But not for too long, because I've got to catch a flight to Mauritius tomorrow from this airport. So if you could wrap it up by 8, that would be great. But basically, long story short, I really enjoyed it. Absolutely great Enviro-Sesh. Got really into it. I was joining in with all the slogans, all the chants. Actually, apart from one of them really confused me, because they were save the whales, save the whales, save the whales. I just point blank refused to join in. I was like, look, that country takes half of my tax money every year. Wales needs to learn to stand on its own 2 feet, frankly.